This is the lesson 3.2 mini lesson. 3% problems are shown. Each problem matches one of the models shown. Determine which model matches each problem. So when I look at this first one, and I'm going to number these 1, 2, and 3, and if you would do the same on page 154, that would be great. So if a test has 20 questions, Tracy gets 75% correct. How many correct did Tracy get? There's a total of 20 questions. So I'm seeing right here, this is showing me a total of 20. And it's also showing me 75% of them. So 1 is going to match to C. 28 students in a class took an algebra test. So that's the total class. So already I'm seeing a total of 28. If 21 passed, so part of them passed, what percent did not? So this looks like this matches to A. And let's just confirm that we're correct. In a school, 25% of the teachers are math teachers. So I see a 25%. If there are 5 math teachers, I see a 5. How many teachers are there in the school? This makes sense because 5 of them are math teachers. That's only part of all the teachers in the school. So this is going to match to B. So now it says to use the appropriate model to solve each problem and explain how you solved. So I'm going to go back to number 1, which matches up with C. The question they're asking me is, if she got 75% correct, how many questions did she get correct? If there's a total of 20 questions and it's broken into 4 even parts, then I would have 5, 5, 5, and 5 to make 20. And 3 of these parts make 75%. So it looks like I would have 15 questions correct. Number 2, I'm looking at A. So 28 students in a class took an algebra test. 21 of them passed. I see that right here. What percent did not pass? So it looks like 3 out of the 4, 3/4 passed, which I know is 75%. I could say 1/4 did not pass, which is 25%. So I have 25% did not pass. Let's hope we never get results like that, you guys. And the final one, we're looking at B. So in a school, 25% of the teachers are math teachers. How many teachers are there in the school? So if this box is 5, this is 5, this is 5, this is 5, because they're all even. 25, 25, 25, 25 is 100%. So how many teachers are there in the school? There would be 5, 10, 15, 20. So 3, there are 20 teachers in the school. Okay, so a model is a really nice way to figure out our answers. We're going to get 2 other strategies. On the next page, Keisha writes 3 rules to solve percent problems. So rule 1, there's an error in your book. So please make sure that it says, if I want to calculate the part, I should multiply the percent as a decimal by the number. So this is for calculating the part. I'm going to actually write part here. And then it says if I want to calculate the percent, so I'm going to write percent here. I should divide the part by the whole and change the decimal to a percent. Rule 3, if I want to calculate the whole, I should divide the part by the percent written as a decimal. So now they want us to do these same 3 problems, but they want us to use Keisha's rules. So I basically wrote the information from the prior page so that I don't have to flip back and forth. So the first one, there were 20 questions, 75% were correct. It says, how many questions did you get correct? So this is the total number of questions. Here's the percent. I'm looking for the part. So I'm following rule number 1. So it tells me I should multiply the percent as a decimal. If I take 75% as a decimal, that's 0.75. And if I multiply by the number, there were a total number of 20 questions, then I will get the part. So when we multiply 0.75 times 20, we get 15 questions correct, which if you look back at the prior page, that is what we had here, 15 questions correct from our model. So number 2, 28 students in a class, so that's the whole class. 21 passed, that's part of the students. So what percent did not? I'm looking for the percent. So I'm following the rule. I should divide the part, 21, divided by the whole, 28, and then change the decimal to a percent. If I divide these, I get 0.25. To change a decimal to a percent, we move the decimal over 2 places to the right, so I get 25% did not pass. And again, if we look back, that's the same thing we had here. The third one, I have the percent. I have part of the teachers. I need to find the whole. So I'm going back up and I'm looking at the rule for the whole. I should divide the part, so part was 5, by the percent written as a decimal. So you can always grab your calculators for this too. You don't have to be able to do all the math in your head. So if I take 5 divided by the percent, 0.25, I will end up with 20. So there are 20 teachers in the school. Which again, if we flip back, that's the same answer we got before. So now we have another student that says, well, wait, there's another way to do these problems that will always work and use the same proportion. Remember, a percent is a ratio that is a part to a whole. And a percent, the whole is always out of 100. So we can set up a proportion. So remember, we know that a proportion looks like fraction bar equals another fraction bar. One of those ratios is going to be a part to whole with the percent, and the other will be part to whole of the other two quantities. So then I can solve for the unknown. So I actually like to write it this way. The percent over 100, that's the part to whole, equals part to whole of the other quantities. So let's take a look at this. A test has 20 questions. That's the total questions on the test. So that's going in place of whole. If Tracy gets 75% correct, see how I have percent over 100, 75 over 100. How many questions did she get correct? The number correct, that's part of them, so that's the top. So here they're using means and extremes. 75 times 20 equals 100 times x. They multiplied. Then we're at this point, we're isolating for the variable. We divide both sides by 100, and I get 15, which is the same thing we got when we used Keisha's rule. It's the same thing we got when we did our model. Here they're showing it to me again. 28 students in a class. That's the whole. They took an algebra test. 21 passed. It's part of the kids. So part out of the whole. It says what percent? I don't know the percent, but percent's out of 100. So anytime we have three quantities, we can either scale up, scale down, or use means and extremes. So again, they're saying 28x equals 21 times 100. They multiplied these two. To solve this, we divide both sides by 28. X is 75. So 75% passed the test, so 25% did not. So we can look back and see that we had those same answers before. So we're going to try to use this method on our own here. So remember, it's percent over 100 equals part over the whole. So 25%, that's easy, 25 over 100. If there are 5 math teachers, how many teachers in the school? Math teachers are just part of the teachers. So I have this proportion set up. I could do this two ways. I could say 25 divided by 5 gives me 5. So 100 divided by 5 gives me 20 teachers total. Or I could use means and extremes. And I could say 100 times 5, 500 equals 25x. Divide both sides by 25. And I still get x is 20 teachers total. So this is the end of the mini lesson.